This is why
Very embarrassing.
it's I've actually been caught in a church service with similar situations, but
You did? That's even worse. And now other kids have devotions.
it's like, right. So, do you like on your way up to the front, you're like finding something to talk about. That's
Let's talk about
This morning we will have a singing.
No, the truth of the matter is, if you do ever get caught in a situation like that, it is simply best to be very, very honest about the situation rather than try to.
Not when you did it 2 times.
If you did it 2 times in a row, that's a little silly, but I mean,
Yeah,
you should
I
still.
know.
I mean, I can't help you in your situation, but you're still better off being honest about it. As far as
saying like, honestly,
I forgot. Like, people tend to be very, very understanding of forgetfulness, at least for the first couple times. After the 7th or 8th time, people are going to start being like, okay, so like, you want me to like call you up the night before, or what? What?
It's like you go, okay, turn in your Bibles to first
work
Peter.
on
No, wait,
Jesus.
John 7, Revelation, wait, okay.
How about we just go to Genesis?
We got a lot of material to read from.
lots of kids.
Let's see, Genesis chapter 1.
and Revelation today.
It's like Genesis chapter 1, and he starts reading from Leviticus. Oh, wait a second.
Oh, well. No, on the bright side, so if
It's
you
my
are,
dream
if
to
you are
do
current
that.
in your daily devotions, it's usually not hard to find something to talk about. Public, especially devotions, like a shorter 15-minute thing. It's not like, if you haven't been very neglectful, you can usually at least had a thought from that morning or the night before. Maybe it was 2 days ago. Hopefully you had a thought. If you didn't, well.
It'd be really bad if you did that for a sermon.
I've actually heard some very good sermons that somebody didn't have any notice for. They just simply were asked to speak.
I know,
It's
but
a very good sermon, but some people are much better at those.
Other ones. That would be.
Yeah, that might be
That's what
one.
my dad does when we go to other church.
I know, that was
Which is
really
why you
bad.
don't go to that other churches. You listen to the same thing 400 times. Dad, you know, right? I can preach that for you.
That's what Grandpa did in Israel. We were in Israel and he preached one sermon. We'll go to Walla Walla, he preached it. He comes here, we preach it. And we were there 3 Sundays in a row on the same sermon.
Hey, how that works.
Are we checking that?
Yes. I'm standing here with my markers in my hand.
So what exactly happened to those next?
I just saw him pull in just now. So I'm assuming Leah will show up shortly.
Oh, I had dentist appointment, they forgot to tell you that.
It's very possible. We're just going to go ahead and just get into straight. I don't have a note. So that doesn't mean that nobody told me. It might just mean I forgot to write it down. So that's the thing about notes. If you depend on them, sometimes you get to write stuff down.
What's really fun is to just mention it to your teacher that you're going to be gone like a day or something when they're like busy checking or writing something down. And they just, and then they come, and they're like,
What in the Sam Hill?
yeah.
I realize I use that expression too much. My 2-year-old was like, what in the, and she's like, Sam Hill! Yeah, because he does it. She's very proud of herself. All right.
Okay, that's good. Dad, I know what it is.
Bill Cosby thing. I am sick and tired. That wasn't the right thing to say. All right. Page 47 in 8th grade math. And so you should have y cubed plus 8y. And b, you should have 3a squared plus 10. 2a 3c squared minus 6c excuse me, minus 6c squared, 3c cubed, minus 6,
Where are we?
beginning of 2a. 3c cubed minus 6c squared plus 14.
We did that in class.
I know.
And we came
That's
up
what we're
with
checking.
something different.
Hmm?
We did that in class. And for
If you have them in a
something-
different order, that's not particularly wrong.
No, I just have something.
Well, we did them in class, but I'm pretty sure that I used that information. That's why we check things that we did in class. in case
I
something intense.
just have 3c cubed.
Yeah, well, that's wrong, unfortunately. For B, you should have negative 7x to the fourth plus 7x cubed plus 3x squared minus 3. That one also wrong. And 3a is 5a cubed plus 10a squared. B is 6y cubed minus 4y squared minus 3y. Yes.
3, I went 5a squared plus 10a squared.
That's 5a cubed. 4. A, you should have 5x squared minus 5x plus 12. B is negative 3x squared minus 3x plus 12. C, negative 3x squared minus 5x minus 2.
So what was 3b again?
3b is 6y cubed minus 4y squared minus 3y. Notice how they count down with their exponents, which,
Yeah, I got that one.
whatever. It's not wrong any other way, but that's just the way they're going to do them all, so it's easier to check. 5a, 0.0516, repeating 6. And 0.052 is what it rounds to. I'm just checking it. I thought that was enrolling, maybe it wasn't. Actually, maybe not. Alright, B. You should have 0.09625 and 0.096. 6a, you should have 0.043, repeating 3, and 0.043. B, you should have 0.00375 and 0.004. It rounds to 3/8 of 8,000 is going to be 3% of 8,000 is going to be $32, and 5 and 1/6% is going to be 13.
Wait, 7, I have the number right, but I don't have the dollar sign.
That's fine, I forgive you.
Which one?
7. 9 is legs. 10 variable and exponent. 11 range. 12 coefficient. 13 area of the base. 14 640 acres. 1 acre 42,560 square feet. In kilometers 5/8 of a mile. In kilograms 2.2 pounds. 16 0.16 repeating, and B is 0.875. 17A is 13.69. B is 1/16. C is 16/25. 18 is 17,000 is what the original list price was. Why would we do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll get here eventually. 19A, 0.63, and B is 35,000, and C is 5.1. Nice job on number 20.
51 on 18.
That would be wrong.
And
21A is yes, and B is no.
19, it was, for A, it was 0.63, and B, it was 35,000.
22 is 660 square inches and 4.6 square feet.
4.6.
4.6. It was, so 660 divided by 144.
That was sketchy, probably.
I cannot believe you got that right. Very.
And by the way, on 21 and 22, make sure you have like formulas. So you should have a squared and b squared equals c squared for 21. And for 22, you should have area equals pi r squared. And circumference equals pi diameter and area equals width.
I missed one of the formulas.
Say what?
I missed one of the formulas.
What do you want?
Point for that.
The third one. You have the other one. That's where I can hold.
23, you should have 15 and negative 3 and 1.
I have -1.
That should be a positive thing. That's very important. 24, 42n plus 54. And B is 9n plus 63, C is 12n, negative 12n plus 96. 25. A, -6, B, 4.5, C, 0.90. 90 has repeating line, so it's 9090. 26, your equation should be 58 equals 2s minus 14, with an answer of 36 subs.
So is
What
that
should
point
the
where
equation be?
58 equals 2s minus 14.
So that's the point.
Yes,
And what's the answer?
36. We'll go back here.
That's a point and a blank.
27, I checked all of yours. If you don't have any markings on it.
Mine just says could be neither because I already put the stuff.
I got one taken away because it wasn't eating that.
Oh, yes.
There was some of that going on.
I know. Like I did that happen in my life.
Yeah.
I'm a forgery.
You don't want to know what happened in my life.
I'll take comfort in that.
Well, I was wondering what happened to your language too. It looked a little like the chocolate button went up. 28. Hey, it's $248.06. Total amount is $3,923.06.
What, is that a point and blank?
What was the first one?
It's $248.06. Yes. And you should have your interest formula there as well. Interest equals principal times rate times time. Now you can about that.
I have it. I just got it wrong.
Well, it's worth a point for it, at least. 29 is x cubed minus 6x squared plus 7x. B is 4b to the fourth plus 3b cubed. 30 is a profit of $50 and 7%.
70%.
I have 65%.
7%.
I got 6%.
7%.
That's totally.
Oh, 71.
Oh god.
Must be a bad student.
I got 7 year on too.
So for that third row,
This was a bad class.
It was.
900.
It was 30 wrong, but it ended up being more off your thing with 3 points.
Hopefully at least an easy grader, because you never know where you might
You should
put it.
like buy a couple of those.
I think I need about 8 of them. That way, I always one in plain sight.
Or you could just get
You
us
probably
all one
just-
and tell us how many points there are.
You'd probably just lose all of them at the same
I
time.
just put it in my back pocket like a wallet every morning.
Good
Those
sit down
big
and
fat
play.
wallets that they put in our back pocket, it's so easy to pick.
Like the big
Just
ones,
like
like
this.
the tall ones.
Yeah, the tall one.
Those are.
Well, when I grew up, I'm gonna be a pickpocket and make my living that way. All right, yeah, so there's 70 points, so 1 wrong is 99, 2 is, who is 7, I think, the third 93, 3 is 96.
7.
That's a 900%.
What do you have here?
60%.
That's better than
You just punching it on there because you don't want anybody else to hear it?
I'm having fun with this.
Okay, I'm did you get wrong?
13.
81. Sure that. All right. So there were some struggles with.
Good job, guys.
Number 18. What did y'all do on 18 on page 48?
I got a good job on that one. 18. I got 17,000.
I got 13,000.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how you did it because you multiplied by 1.15. You should multiply by 0.85.
I thought that's wrong.
So that was what was confusing. And now also you just must have one multiplication on section A as well. And for 22. How was that one? 49.
I got that one right. I'm
Very
really-
sad.
I'm really surprised I got it right.
It's just a simple syllable.
Except,
All right, 26. 26, so most people got it wrong. Is that correct?
yeah.
26?
Yeah.
Chris, you get it right?
I got it wrong.
Okay.
I have 14 minus 58 times
All right.
2.
We'll just go through that one. We'll figure out our equation on that one. So the number of subs at Big Ben's Bake Shop and Deli sold is 14 less than twice what was sold the previous day.
And they sold 58.
Yesterday they sold 58. So that's why they started with 58. Now you could have done it a different way. Obviously you could do, okay, so it says 14 less than twice. So the variable is S we're using, right? That's the variable, is the number of subs sold today. Or yesterday, my bad. Subs yesterday is S. Oh, really? So we'll call it yesterday. So we know that the day before yesterday was 58. So we'll start there. So 58 equals. No, wait, hang on.
Mr. Grant, the story problem I think is wrong because
Hang on.
it has to be.
So let's say 14. Okay. Oh, yes. This is how you're supposed to go through it. All
It's
right.
14 less than twice what was sold.
My bad. So yesterday was 58. It says that. Subs yesterday is 58. All right. So then what you do is you have to go through that first line. They give you the whole equation in the first line, right? It says the number of subs at Big Ben's Bake Shop and Deli sold yesterday. So that's that 58 you're looking for. All right. So the subs yesterday is, that means equals, 14 less than twice what was sold the previous day, right?
Yeah.
So the variable is the previous day. And so we have to go 2 times the previous day, right? And less than means you subtract 14 from it. So you go 2s minus 14. Twice what was sold the previous day minus 14. And then you work it out from there. Obviously, if you got your equation wrong, it's not likely that you got anything else right.
Yeah, I did it for sure. It was like 120 subs. So.
I got 102.
Actually, I think it wasn't 200.
I got 102.
Richard, did
So
you
you'll
go
do it the same way.
I
Mine
got
is
S
S
Yeah, I
equals.
did that too.
I
14
want
minus
S
58 times
equals
2.
2 times 58 minus 14. Made perfect sense.
We all got
Wait,
a
this is-
So what you did is you mixed up yesterday and the day before.
I think
I had N
now,
equals
it's not
58.2
wrong.
minus times 2.
That's small.
minus
I mean,
14.
the majority of the rules.
what is it? No, actually, there's a majority of rules. The thing about math is the majority you can't rule.
There was one where Garfield,
We can't all be chiefs. Some of us gotta be Indians.
he was like, he came up to John, he's like, fill my food bowl. John's like, are you kidding me? You had breakfast half an hour ago. He's like, let's not live in the past, John.
Exactly. Exactly. Can't be living in the past. Let's see if there's any more of these silly relationships going on. All right. let's not be dwelling on who's messed up the equation and crashed the whole entire spaceship into Mars. That actually happened because of the miscommunication between kilograms and pounds of weight. Because NASA.
It really happened?
It crashed the spaceship into Mars.
Why?
Very
When?
unfortunate. It was a $27 million mistake. They were upset.
How many guys were on board?
No, it was a robot.
A lot cost $27 million.
Launched them into space, Mike. I actually thought it was on the light end, but
What I want to know is like,
space robot.
what I want to know is why did this like, what's the point of NASA?
We'll talk about the point of NASA here in a minute after we've gotten done talking about linear relations.
Look at that. He's been talking about NASA too.
It kind of is.
These are so simple.
Yeah, they are actually really super simple, right? A linear relation, it's actually something that you do a lot of. I mean, we have to figure out kind of specifically what linear relations are about before we get into curved graphs.
You cackling like that isn't giving me a good feeling.
They're curved. But these ones aren't. These ones are in a straight line.
I love it.
Therefore, they're
People laugh.
easy. Get at it. I've been practicing for a minute. So, basically they're very predictable, right? So like it gives us that little table on page 1 where it says one recipe, or not recipe, no, not page 1, it's the first page of the lesson. How many donuts you get per recipe. And this is a linear relationship, right? So the first one recipe worth of donuts is 50 donuts. And that means that if you go 2 recipes worth, that's going to be 100. And we know how to work with these kind of situations. We know that if we want 3,000 donuts, how to get that number, right? We just multiply by 50. And that's how many times we have to multiply the recipe by.
That's too many donuts.
No, it isn't.
Not really.
Kidding me?
No, not even close.
What we do every year when it snows, we make a whole ton of donuts, and then there's just like donuts coming out of your ears because they're in the pantry, in the fridge, and freezing in them.
The problem with donuts coming out of your ears is donuts just don't last. Donuts, they're kind of like a one-day only deal.
They're
only-
good
they're
when
only-
you make them, and then they just deteriorate.
Yeah, they're
They'll
only-
taper off
they're only
very
good.
quickly.
Yeah, they're only
They're
good.
kind of like cheese curds, only good the first day.
What are cheese curds?
Cheese curds are good.
What
Cheese, they're good.
What are
What are they?
cheese curds?
Poor.
It's cheese.
Like
It's
little-
basically the greenest cheese you can find. Like
No.
The freshest?
green. It is before they make. It's basically. Like basically,
Is
you
it
can
kinda
have
like
milk
cottage cheese?
in a cow one day, and the
No,
next day you
it's
can
just
have
like
cheese
cheese.
curds. It's just cheese. It's like
Oh, it's good. Curdled milk. No.
cheese curds.
It's
They're
just basic.
They're basically just a little cheese nugget, just a golden
Oh
nugget.
yeah, I have had those, and I do not like them.
Amazing
They're
cheese.
I like when you can
They're
make
basically the
And then when they get old, then you deep fry them.
No.
Yeah.
Deep
That's
fry 'em.
Yeah.
In what? Just oil, you don't dip it in?
Yeah, you
Like that's where you get a fast food.
can get those at a fast food joint.
Those are good.
Cheese curds like a Dairy Queen? Oh no. Oh no.
Those are good.
Please
Oh,
no.
yes, I've had Dairy Queen cheese curds.
They are
Is that what-
so
Is that what
yum.
we're talking about?
But those are
Okay.
fried. Those are fried.
Those are deep
Those have been
fried.
used up. They're on the back end of their shelf life.
And they're gross.
They're already old.
Honestly,
They've been
don't really
frozen.
remember what
They're
they
probably
had.
terrible. And
Nuts
you
and
know,
stuff.
fried
Yeah.
completely. They're frozen. Yeah. Anyway, I'm moving on. Why were we talking about that? I don't know either. Okay.
Yeah.
We got it up last time.
Well, I hate to.
Oh, yeah.
No.
All right, so we'll just start with number 1. It says the Alpine lace Swiss cheese costs $7 a pound, which can be your linear relationship. So you have to fill that graph in, I'm assuming. So 1 pound. In the first blank, you have like obviously pounds. Actually, I'll just you have pounds and cost, right, or something similar.
Well, wait.
So 1 pound,
Well, not
1 pound is going to be $7, which is simple as home. 2 pounds is going to be $14.
Yeah, that's as clear as mud.
Oh, absolutely. And the very best mud. And 3 pounds is going to be $21. So, according to the graph, 1.5 pounds, so, wait, you need to graph this? Is it graphed yet? So,
That would be
basically,
10.
you plot your points.
If you want that.
So 1 pound of cheese, you're going to put a dot at 7 pounds, or at $7.
That'd be $10.50, I think.
You're absolutely right. 1.5 pounds of cheese would cost you right about $10.50.
Okay. I'm still
And
buying it.
You
for
could almost buy four
$27, you could buy almost
4 pounds.
4 pounds of cheese.
I'm still,
It is
still
for,
getting
no,
tried.
no, it's
28
for-
weeks.
That's funny.
I'm still bidding this.
Anyway.
How'd you come up with that, like, to whatever been $10? According to the graph, 1.5 pounds costs how much?
You look at your graph. Did you graph the line?
Yeah, graph the one.
Okay, so now you look up at 1.5 pounds of cheese. So you follow your graph to 1.5 pounds of cheese, then you go up the graph until you find where the line crosses the number. The number.
Then you
of
put a
line.
point there.
Well, you don't have to, but you could, and figure out how much that point is worth.
So it'd be right, yeah, $10.50.
$10.50.
And then you could buy almost,
So go up to how many pounds of cheese would, for $27. So 27 is the top of your scale.
4.
Right. Almost
I
4.
mean, I did that without eating.
Well, obviously, you can just do the math in your head, but this is kind of, like I said, it's kind of a.
Graphs just make me nervous.
Graphs are amazing. Graphing,
Linear graphs I actually like, because they
yeah,
don't
they
take a
just
long
like
time
kill
and they
each
just.
other.
I like in math. I like things that take up a lot of space and they don't take very long.
Yeah, these are like simple.
Yeah, it's really
Ah,
not even
let's do 4A.
So that would be
that one.
10c cubed plus c minus something, 6.
Hang on. You're a little bit wrong.
7c cubed
7C cubed.
What?
plus 3c squared
Squared plus
3c
1c
plus
minus
c,
6.
C minus 6. That's
plus
correct.
c.
Plus
What
c.
the-
That's what I had.
Not one.
Yeah, plus C, yes, there's a positive C.
So it wouldn't be 1c, it would be just c.
Just C
Minus 6.
minus 6. All right, and 17. A change from 96 to 35. How would we do this? How would we do this math?
So you go 96 minus.
Change. So it's changing from 96 to 35. So first things first, we have to find the
difference.
difference. Right. So what's the difference between 96 and 35?
It is 61.
Where are you at?
17.
Ah, yeah, 61.
So then you
61 is
61
correct.
over 96.
61 over 96 is correct.
And
What?
And over 100.
Equals n over 100.
Oh, so 61 divided by 96
Precise.
equals
There you go.
64.
So that's 64.
Thank you.
For 29, what formulas are you going to need for that?
29. You're gonna need a circle formula.
Half of the circle.
Yeah, half circle and area of a rectangle.
Precisely.
Anytime I remember rectangle, I just like template.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah. So make sure that's a half circle you use, and make sure you use that correctly.
So like, let's see here.
And 24 was in. Actually,
Oh, 24. That one's scary.
let's just work 24 out together. All right. So on July 1, 2001, fresh milk from a Swiss cow was made in Saanen cheese. On November 30, 2005, the ripened cheese was shipped to the United States for sale. On December 1, 2006, Big Ben's Big Shop in Delhi put together a Christmas trade with sweets and cheeses, including small batches of Saanen. How many years and months of the cheese aged before it was shipped overseas? So basically, it's a simple subtraction problem. You have to figure out how many years it was overseas. So Overseas was before it was shipped to the United States, so from 2005 to 2001 to
4
2005.
years, right?
But also you have the months in there, so November 30.
Well, how did you subtract that?
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's gonna be the best way to write them to figure this out, right? So you see, what was it? When was it made in Switzerland?
July 1, 2001.
2001. All right.
The coffee
So
is
this is actually really simple because we can figure out how many months are on the back side till it hits 2002, right? So till it hits 2002 is going to be how long? How many months?
5 months,
5 months?
4 months, I don't know.
6, 7 months.
July is
Five months.
like it was created at the beginning of July, right? So it's going to be a full 6 months, right? Because you have 1, 2, 3,
6 months.
4, 5, 6. Because it was created on July 1, it has this whole month, which is why they did it that way. All right, so 1, 2, 3, so July, August, September, October, November, December, all right? So it has 6 months in 2001. All right? So then it got to, when it was shipped to the U.S. was
In 2005.
November 2000.
November of 2005. November.
Why are
End
they,
of
did
beginning.
it actually think they were going to be shipping cheese around?
They're teaching you how to do
You
math.
might need that someday.
I'm not
Oh, sure.
All right. So basically, how many months of 2005 do we have here? Because this is the end of November.
You remember?
1 month.
1 month.
1 month.
No, because now we're using
You
the
have
front
1
half
month.
of the year. Now we're using the front half. of
Oh,
the
you
year,
have
right?
11 months.
So
11
we have-
months.
Right.
What the?
Because November is the 11th
It
month,
is
and we
long.
use the whole thing. So we're using this half of the year this time. This time we were using the back half of the year. This time we're using the front half of the year, right?
So
Back half,
that would be
front half.
12 months versus equal
All right, so here's the deal. We have 11 months here. We have 6 months there, and now we have to figure out how many months are between. How many years are between.
17 months.
So from 2002 to the beginning of 2005, so 2002, 03, 04, and now 05. All right, so we're at 3 years here, 3 full years, and then we have to add these together to figure out how many
It'd
more.
be 4 years and 5 months.
4 years and 5 months is correct.
And then,
How many years and months did the cheese age before it was shipped overseas?
That's for A, yes. So that's 4 years and 5
how
months.
many months was it from the time?
So from the time it was shipped until the deli used it, and they're basically just used the same thing, except this is just parts of the year, right? So just figure out which parts of the year.
So it'd be 1 year in 1 month.
They're asking how many months.
13
So,
months.
So 13 months.
hang on, you're wrong.
12 months.
Remember, this is the end of November, all right?
So it'd be 11 months.
It would be 12
So there's
months.
only 1 month here. There's only 1 month here in the end of 2005, because it's November 30.
So
Pretty sure it would be 12 months.
No, it'd be 11.
Oh.
Let's figure it out.
No.
Okay, so this is the end of 2005, we're at 1 month.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
And here's the whole year. So here's December,
It's
that's the
12
beginning of
months in
December.
1 day.
Okay, so it's December 1. So that's the beginning of December. So that means we have 1 month here,
Yeah, it'd be 12
December.
months in 1 day.
14 months.
December, and here we have how many months? In
11.
11 months. Richard's right. I'm just trying to get everybody on board and follow along what's going on. Ooh, I can't use 12 months. So you have 1 month and you have 11 months, which means
that would be 12
12 months.
precise.
No, it's 12 months in 1 day though. So Richard's
No,
not
it's
right.
actually not quite.
1 day or 3/4 of a
1
day.
year.
We'll just
12
call it,
months.
we'll just call it 12 months and look around. They want to know how many months. That's part of the speak at you.
We'll speak that to you.
We'll speak at you later. Everybody loves a good complex relationship. I know. They write whole books about complex relationships. I don't, and I don't read them either, but they're there.
Well, if you don't read them,
I think these two. Is this something that is it? No, I have this one right there. I want to this. I'm not sure. But okay, then.
I'm not much of a drummer, but
Yeah, no, there's
They're not
little pieces in there that I
playing Jim Shockey.
Hmm?
You sound like my little brother's playing Jim
And I like
Shockey.
this.
Bang.
So it doesn't write that.
No, look.
Well,
You know
we
what?
added
Take a look at that church.
all right.
Look at that church.
Ladies, if you would.
I would.
I like
If you would follow along with me on our little journey into complex relationships. First, we have to check 3.8.
So we will.
You get so many.
I'm good.
I hope not.
I'm sorry.
Well,
It was just a bad lesson.
gentlemen, in the back corner. Number one. The GCF of those. So for number one, the GCF is 8, which we I think we did in class. Number two, the GCF is 21. 3, the GCF is 10. 4. Well, you're wrong. Number 4 is MN. 5 is 9x. And 6 is 11n squared. Yes. That makes sense. 7. We should have 2xy. 8. We should have 7x squared plus 8x. 9 is 22. 10 is 20. 11 is 36. 12 is negative 5. 13 is 4. 14 is 23. 15 is negative 2. 16 is 49. 17 negative 49. 18 negative 16. 19 is 4. 20 is 12 over 13. 21 is x. 22 is x equals 5. 23, x equals negative 5.
Hey,
24,
why do I have y equals
y
negative?
equals negative 5. Okay, you're correct. Sorry, I blew it up. Okay. 24, x equals 25. 25 is x equals negative 4. 26, x equals 7. 27, x equals 3. 28 is 2/3. 29, 5/6. 30 is 4. 31, 8 daffodils with white. 32 is, well, the number of quarters here, the dollar value is 0.25 Q, which we've talked about in class. 33, you should have 2n minus 4, I guess. The numbers and twice the number less 4 is 2n minus 4. 34 is polynomial with 3 variables in the 7th degree. 35, a trinomial with 3 variables in the 4th degree.
3 variables?
3 variables.
I have
A,
2 variables.
hang on.
2 variables.
A, B, and Q.
What? Where?
There's Q. There's 25 Q
35
squared
does
B.
not have a Q.
Yes, it's supposed to.
No, it doesn't.
Oh my word. They're wrong. It's up. That's 2 variables.
What number was that? 35.
35.
Yeah, but they have A, B.
These guys have a Q squared
Oh,
B,
yeah.
which it's not. It's an A squared. So let me make a notation. Oh, I already have marking device.
Your notation device?
Yes. 2.
Man, they did a bad job in this book. I know.
This.
Men's lives depend on it.
Yes! Men's lives depend on it.
That's why you just don't
36.
become a mathematician.
Huh?
Just don't become a mathematician. You'll have blood on your hands.
No, it's not a good one. Save men's lot, it's 36. Radican, 37 is index, 38. The DCF is 12, 39. M squared, NP squared. 40 is 7y. 41, 21, 42, 13, 43. X squared, y squared, Z.
It's confusing on number 29, because I had 5, 6, and then I didn't know that one was right, so I have another one now.
Number 29?
I didn't get
You
it.
said you didn't do the extra practice?
Yeah.
Can't remember what I said
You
about
said no.
extra practice yesterday. I think I might have figured it was something you have to do necessarily after it.
I still got lots wrong.
I think. I don't know. You can count the extra practice.
Did you do the extra practice?
Yes, I
If you
did.
did the extra practice, I will count it for you.
Okay, see, it's professional, but, you know, and then it was awful.
So if you did the extra practice, how many did you get wrong?
2.
95.
That was
Without the extra practice, what do you have?
71.
83. 95.
I think it's about every 5 you said.
Why would it be? Yes, it's the same. Wow. I feel like I should give you an extra. Nope, not going to.
Okay. If you want to be in today's lesson,
Actually, I'll give you an extra percentage from this for you.
96.
96.
Oh, no. Does that even change it?
Makes this lesson look better.
It does sound like
96 is
And
much better than
83.
95. I think it was actually A plus instead of A. Nope, not quite. It's still an A. Complex relationships between values.
I have 11.
You don't have a B, just right?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
11 should be just B.
A B.
B flat. You can label it.
I think it how on 31 it says Bill and Andrew together on 5 basketball.
Where?
Number 31.
Joe and Ezra together own 5 basketballs. So, basically, you know. Flat fly. Alright, so you know that the 5
Yeah,
Is
that's
five.
for both.
for both of them. So both of them added together. Joel and Ezra.
Is that what, like, answers that you have right there?
Oh, we can look at the answer key, I'm assuming.
So I wrote Joe equals B, Ezra equals B minus 5. But
Oh, maybe that's for that.
I don't think that doesn't sound quite right anymore.
So that's minus 5.
Hmm.
What did you say?
Okay, well, that will also
I
work.
said Joe equals B and then Ezra equals B minus 5.
Technically, it's a s-
But if they both have 5, that's
well, here's the deal is. Yeah, okay, so you're right at the 9, you're just not quite right. I don't know why we moved that up. Anyway, so Joe's basketballs are J and Ezra's basketballs are 5 minus J,
5 minus.
which it could be either way. But, because they're, yeah, I see what I thought they were looking for an equation.
So Ezra 5 minus instead of the variable minus.
Alright, so that's apparently a simple relationship between values. Now we can do the complicated ones. Basically, this is when instead of just having like the J minus. Oh, they can't take it. No, I had it for a second. So instead of just having like the one thing that we do here, where we're representing values uprightly, where Joel and Ezra own 5 basketballs, rather than only having like a an E minus, 5 minus J or whatever, we'll go ahead and complicate it. So John's age, Bill is 2 years less than half John's age. So John's age is J. Right? You know how old John is. What, 2 less than 5, is what it said?
Yeah.
So John's age,
Well, 2 years less than half.
2 years less than half. So, basically, we just have to figure, this whole less than means that the 2 is going to jump sides on us.
Okay.
So half John's age is going to be represented with 1/2 J. minus
That's
2.
John's age or Bill's age?
This is Bill's age.
So you're right, John equals
John equals J, and Bill is 1/2 J minus 2.
Bill equals 1/2 J minus 2.
Right, because we
Oh,
go
yeah.
1/2 John's age, 2 years less than half of John's age. So 1/2 J minus 2. The length of the building is 5 feet more than twice its width. All right. Length is 5 feet more than twice its width.
So building equals W. No, it's not building equals W. The width equals W. Yeah.
All right.
So width equals W. Length equals 5 plus LW. No. W. 2.
Okay, so we're 5 feet more than twice the width, right?
So
So that's what we're gonna start
2W.
with.
2W plus 5. Yeah.
2W plus 5. All right. What about for number 3? Lisa, what do you? Mark is 3 years, I mean, no, the girls will be 3. Number 4 more than twice the number of boys, all right? So we start with boys, B equals boys, right? And so the girls are 4 more than twice the number of boys. Hang on,
4 times B.
4 times B. No,
4 times 2 times B.
2B, because twice the number of boys. See that twice the number of boys? That's what you do
Yeah.
first.
2B
4 more
plus-
than just means plus, you add 4.
2B plus 4.
2B plus 4 is what you're looking for. All right, and each of you will do one of these, we'll do these, the rest of these in class as well. And Christie, what's 4?
Here.
Mark is 3 years younger than Luke, and Seth is 5 years older than Luke.
So
So we just start with
Luke
Luke.
equals L, yeah.
Luke is L.
Okay, now,
Mark is,
then Mark equals L minus 3. No.
yes,
Yeah,
Mark is L minus 3.
and then Seth equals L plus 5.
That's correct. All right, Christie, number 5.
Okay, F equals kids.
Yep, start there. Sue is, well, they want a full equation. They want a full equation for Sue. But for Beth, start with Beth. Beth is going to be,
So F equals K minus 6.
yes, Beth is K minus 6. She's 6 years younger than Kathy. So Sue is going to be,
Sue is K minus 6 plus 2.
K minus 6 plus 2 equals,
Equals?
what do they have that?
Yeah.
Or, oh yeah, K minus 6 plus 2 or K plus 4. K minus 4.
What? Oh, negative 6 plus 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a negative 6 and a plus 2. So the
K
way,
minus 4.
yeah, you should have K minus 4 is what you'll evaluate Sue's age to. Because it is, I looked at that, I don't want it in the equation, but they just have a minus 6 plus 2 going on. That just means minus 4. All right, and Lisa, Krista's pots. Krista's equals K. Carla seeded 2 times as many as a third of what Krista seeded. So you start with, this is a little tricky.
Very confusing.
But,
2, and no, yeah, 2 and 1/3. That's all you right? Or a
Well-
third and a 2?
2 and a third times 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the K.
yeah, so basically, you start with 1/3 of Krista, right?
Yeah.
And then she seeded twice that much.
2 and 2.
Oh.
So, you can simplify this. Right? You have 2 times 1/3.
2/3.
Right.
2/3 is K.
2/3 K
Yeah,
is
I
the
don't
correct
think I
answer.
did that one last night.
Say what?
I don't think I forgot that one on there. Or 5.
Let's go get it here. Yes. 2 times, I don't know, it's, you just have to, you take it one chunk at a time. Like if you see that, like it does say 2 times as many flower, but honestly, if you had 2 times 1/3 K, you'd have the right answer, you just need to simplify it. So just make sure that when you're done with it, it's in the simplest form. But if you can simplify the expression, you need to.
37 and then
Okay, let's talk about 37. Harut, ooh, what a name, earned 1/4 as much as Deshi, also a name, who earned twice as much as Liang, who earned $2 more than Masao. And so we start with
Where
M.
is this, China?
That seems like, we just start with M for the amount that Masao earned, all right? So then we kind of work backward from there. So Liang earned $2 more than Masao, right? So basically, we'll write these in the least simple form, and then you kind of work backward from there, right? So the amount that Liang earned is what? Please? Or M plus 2 is more correct, but 2 plus M is also fine, I guess. So then the amount that Deshi earned was twice as much as Liang, so that means you need to go, so basically, M plus 2, which you have already, times 2. Now remember, you have to simplify this, to make sure this is the simplest form. 2M plus 4.
Okay, so you got Dashi.
So that's a Deshi. And then the amount that Haru earned, so, hang on. So now you're working with Deshi's numbers, right? So you have to start with Deshi's numbers and you multiply that by 1/4. 4 divided by
So
4.
you got 1/4. So just like that.
I would go like this, to be real honest.
So 1/2.
So you're dividing by 4.
So just write 2 and
So simplify it.
You don't have to simplify that?
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, because these are just.
And then just leave it like that.
No, simplify it.
And
Work it out. Simplify this expression.
M over 2 is a problem.
over 2 plus 1.
Oh. Yes, actually. Yeah, that's actually a good way to work that out.
That's good.
All right. So basically, you just have to move this work backwards. I don't feel like finishing all of these in class. Excuse me. I think you should do the extra practice. They actually tend to go a little easier on doing the extra practice. I think, except that they throw squares at you in 49. One number is a square root of the second number. So you just use, well, it's pretty straightforward. That throws the square roots in there.
Use X for side fees, huh?
I know, that's so confusing on him.
Okay.
I have that.
So, okay, so you start out with obviously x equals b, or whatever side b equals x, or however you happen to write that down. Then side c is obviously pretty easy. It's just one more than 3 times b. So you start with 3 times b, so 3b plus 1. Or 3x plus 1, I guess.
And then
Length of side A,
It's
How would you do
4x raised to
that's correct.
So,
Why did they, man alive, these people in their answer key, what are they thinking? 2 corrections and 1 missing. Now people supposed to learn answer keys, they don't learn algebra for the answer keys at all. What's wrong? Any further questions on the lesson? Alrighty. Come and help.
So, we're doing 2 dozen, 2 900 per dozen, so that's all we're doing. But 14 bagels, or, yeah, 14 dozen. This says per
Half dozen.
half dozen. So how do you?
So how many dozen?
There's 14.
How much per dozen?
Wow.
I know, but 14 dozen bagels, and this is per half dozen, so $1.19 per half dozen. So it just means you have to figure out how much it is per whole dozen, not one by
Okay, so this would just be that times 2.
And then multiply that by 14. Richard, I didn't know I got your history grades. I guess you didn't. So, you working on lesson 6? We're doing lesson 5 today. It's a quiz. That's what I said when you pulled it out. Moving on.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
is the camera still on?
Oh yeah, she's running full time. All day long today. No
Are
breaks.
those cactuses real or
That is
fake?
so.
They're real.
The thing is it's really easy.
I think we'll dissect them later.
The cactuses?
You might have Mariana at it.
Why?
Let's pull off all the spines.
Yeah, they don't need those anyway. That makes them mean.
Why are they breathing?
We just won't look at them.
I'm gonna go up there with a knife. Oh, whoops!
Look
Sorry,
at.
Ariana.
Well, I guess it's the end now. I guess we just have to.
I never have been. Never have looked inside a cactus. I don't actually know what's
If you
inside.
want to, I can get you
Aren't
one.
they hard?
I don't know, I never looked at them.
You should cut one open. I want to taste the water.
There's a special kind of cactus for that, and it's not actually very good either. A prickly pear they actually eat, and they feed the cows in Mexico.
I know. I
But
mean,
can't you get water out of a barrel cactus?
You can, but it's not as, I mean, it's like this. It's survival water, which means you can drink it, but it's not very fun.
Still want to try it.
Um,
Yeah, just think of the experience.
yeah, what it all boils down to is the fact that when you're surviving, you're just really not enjoying yourself. Like somehow it's just always uncomfortable. Nice weather though. Sunshiny, clear, crisp.
Mr. Kenneth, is it okay if I put down the lady's laugh was like, or I think you're supposed to complete with similes. It says the woman's laugh was like. Is it okay if I put down the lady's laughter?
that's not good.
It's like what?
What? No, like that's not a simile. Or what? No, it isn't.
The woman's laugh was like the lady's laughter.
No, it's not a simile. That's.
The woman's laugh was like a rasping door. Is that what?
It could be. Yeah, that's
I was thinking of something like that, like rasping.
Why do you think about it being nasty?
Because they're biased about women.
Oh, poor little woman.
It's a good thing. I'm
That
biased.
was just like Felix.
I'm trying to find funny things to put down.
All right,
He goes,
that's
"Oh,
enough.
they don't eat that." That's
That's
because I've
yeah,
had other nicknames.
yeah. It could be worse. Could be piggy.
That might have been one of them.
I had a cousin we called Piggy. Have a cousin.
That's just a
It was she.
You called her Piggy.
like Ralph in that book.
You big mean.
Ralph sounds like a snob.
No, he sounds like a plain old jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you haven't met the jerk yet.
Ralph isn't the jerk. Ralph is the one that gets called Piggy, or he calls
He calls the other one pig, and he doesn't ever talk to him. He's just an all-around
Sure,
jerk.
pain in the neck.
He and he strips naked and runs around.
Yeah.
Like
You
he's
read
just-
that?
Yeah. Or he's reading her story.
Yeah.
He's just very.
Have you read it?
Well, I mean, okay. Well,
Okay, if he's not me.
Does
the,
Ralph
tru-
get-
the truth of the matter is that we're not anywhere close to the meat of the story yet.
Does Ralph get better? Or is he?
I don't know. I mean, he's kind of a complex character.
It's my second one.
Mr. Kid, how do you spell lethal?
Lethal?
Yeah.
There's a dictionary down there. Pretty cool.
Well,
Pretty
I
cool.
don't know how to spell it, so I don't.
How does it start?
L.
What's the next letter? Probably. What's the next letter?
I don't know.
Okay, so you know the first two letters, so that means you have a pretty stinking good start.
Why did you get a hair back? Did you get it
I already got grades.
I spelled it.
Okay, I'll let you guys do the dictionary. Once you find it and get it right. Now I'll look for it. How did you spell it?
Leathal. Lethal.
That would be wrong.
I don't care.
I do. You're gonna find it now too.
Dictionary works to find words how to spell.
Yep.
We have to find a definition.
No. You're wrong.
That's what I'm looking for.
The LE you had right.
I need help.
Me too. Nobody ever offered.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Well, that's
Hey,
bad.
you bastard.
What's the relative term? Somebody left out of that.
You know, like, actually, somewhere, you know, like, is it talking about like the ones that are,
They understood
I'm
it.
very confused.
there's only 2 of them? Currently.
I didn't realize.
Transit and transit. Before that, where is that? I can't
There's
remember.
only 2 of them. I thought there's more than just 2.
Well, apparently only 2 of them can be understood, which actually that would really
Who and
influence
that?
the. What are we talking about?
That's what I'm trying.
Understood. Unless it's a
24. I turned it to it. Professional.
What is it?
Yeah, it says often the pronouns whom and that.
Who and that?
Whom and that. are
That is
omitted.
weird.
Did not realize those are the only 2 that could be omitted. Oh well. It is time for recess, which we will be taking outside so as to get some fresh air in our lives.
But this air that you're talking about is freezing cold.
I know, and look at it, it's filled with fog, so it's not very fresh. It's not fresh, look at like.
Fresh, fresh enough. Fresher than what's in here.
Look at all the gases that are floating around out there.
Those aren't gases technically, they're water droplets. You're breathing in solids. Whatever.
Whatever they are,
They're
there's still
both-
gases.
both
in
I
there.
don't really care what it is.
Isaiah walked outside this morning and said, "Oh, ouch, the air is so thick."
They're just kidding.
This is kind of odd weather for around here, what?
I know, it's like the valley.
Love it.
I was actually doing it. So for the fall, I love fall.
Makes it. It's not actually that bad out there. It's just gonna be a pain to play.
But you guys have to play a game that you can play with your feet or your hands.
Not my hands. Probably soccer because
It's just so easy. No problem.
just stick out your foot.
Okay, is it okay if I take this one?
Are we okay?
Yeah. Do you like it? Is it?
I actually
never
never
read
read
that one.
I only read that one phrase, but
I like this
too
part,
long.
except it wasn't erased with anything but time. That's clever.
yeah, I
She just
I
did
would do that.
kind of a good job, whoever it was. Her ending's kind of weak, but we can deal with that. The conclusion.
You must have just
This is
really
close.
long, and I don't feel like reading it.
Yeah, I didn't read it all, but she did a good job of getting everything down. That's what she did.
It was funny, but tons and tons.
And tons of stories and tons of words.
Yeah, I think this is close.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Here,
get
are
these
you
back.
rewriting it or writing more?
Rewriting it.
What are you rewriting?
Creative writing, sorry.
Okay. I think I'll save the rewriting part for a little. Is this for pretty good? Good. Great. How is she gonna?
Well, this one's one back here, one already out.
Okay. Mine is literally one page in the back of it.
Yeah, mine isn't very long either. Where's Christina?
Too slow.
Okay.
And you know what? I failed.
You
my
passed your
commitment
driving
that.
test? Yep. And she's not a friend.
Felix failed her 2 times on his permit and passed the 3rd time,
So
I'm
you've
not
not
that
that
bad
yet.
What?
So it's a written test to get a permit, or what?
No.
Oh, it's an actual
And
driving
today's
test.
on with 35 questions.
I mean, we're president.
Like me, I failed.
What did you fail on?
They don't really have driver's ed here, though. Or
You can.
you can.
First the church and
So that, oh, yep. High school's already working on the typing thing, as I was going to say.
Did I put it in your advance?
No, I got the wrong one. And I just opened it.
Whoa, goodness. Standing on that thing and go sliding across the room. Keep your white palette he's not nice, you see he's sitting on a plastic brick from the shooter. That would be funny.
Huh? What?
Check him out. Did you get it? I didn't. I missed. Also, I'm short on copies, man. I ran out before school even started.
So in other words, you're saying you should make a copy.
Oh, no, that's not what you're saying. Putting words in the mouth. Alright. On page 17. Once Chris opens his book. Number 1 is divorce or putting away a wife.
I just have marriage.
They were pretty specific about which part of marriage they were talking about, though.
I have the wife.
Putting away the wife?
No, just wife.
Just wife? We're talking specifically earlier
But marriage-
about divorce. That's what the Jews are talking about.
They're starting a little bit early on.
Well, I mean, you might as well get all the teaching you can while you're in the neighborhood.
They are in the
Apparently,
neighborhood.
you start young, get these things ingrained. I doubt any of you are going to be, putting away your wife or thinking about it for a decent amount of time.
Well, I can't do it.
Forethought, that's true. That helps. But it probably is also helpful to know that if your husband not divorced because they see a woman more beautiful than you, on page
Their
15,
problem.
is very unfortunate. You just have to be careful which kind of husband you marry. You grab all those ones. All right, number 2, rebuke. 3, come to him for a child. 5, false. And 6 is true. And 7 is creation. And 8 is death. And 9 is forbidden. Adultery.
So for 10 I have adultery, and 9 I just have adultery too.
No, I'm worried.
Remarriage is adultery. Oh, I see. See where you're going on that one.
For 8, I have divorce, and 9, I have remarriage is a sin, and 10, I have
8
unfaithfulness.
is death. I mean, you get a divorce, that's just wrong. Sorry. For 9, you have which?
A sin.
I have impossible.
Okay. A sin. For 9, you have impossible? No. It's not really impossible. It's a sin. A sin or forbidden or wrong or whatever, something done that, or adultery. We'll work with that. For 10, it is adultery. For 11, what does the Bible say?
Oh, what does God say?
That works.
That's what is the law.
What does the law say?
That's actually what it says. Listen. It
What?
says right here. Yep, it says Jesus answered them by asking them what Moses commanded, meaning what does the law say?
In that, I mean, whatever. I was going to do that one anyway. interesting side note, the law says a lot of things that we don't do, such as how to sacrifice your animals and the like. So, you know, I would say the Bible would be a good start on that. 12. They are an example of the way adults should trust their Heavenly Father.
I have, they aren't worrying all the time because they just have, or just,
I have their
Hey, as far as the
innocent.
trust, if you have something about the trust that
I've-
children have,
I have their innocent is what their children
I have an alternate, would be like children that are good.
I want to have the trust thing. The trust factor is what I'm looking for.
Whatever that
So
was.
Cody had the trust thing going on. You two don't particularly.
What was it, no?
It says they're an example of the way that adults should trust their Heavenly Father. So like the fact that we're not worrying about what's going on, we should trust God for His goodness. 13.
How many wrong is that?
Oh, that's one. 13. He took him up into his arms, touched him, and blessed him. 14. Jesus valued children, but the people of that time generally didn't. Well, that's interesting.
I have the
Not much
children
different
that
than our
want
time,
to.
come to think of it. Say what?
I have the children that want to.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Where does that say that?
At the top of page 19.
Page 19.
Children in Christ's time.
Infants were sometimes left on the roadside of the wilderness to die.
Man, they must have not really prized children.
Oh, we just said it's similar to our culture. Just
What?
think about, we just do abortion, not
There's going to be a major decline in the population if they keep on at the rate they're going.
Not really, man.
It's, well, so, China tried this long before the U.S. got here, right? They had a one-child policy, and as a result, and because they had too many people, they didn't have enough room to support all the people, which is a complication. The result was that they developed this one-child policy. Every couple going to one child to try to cut back on the population. And there were a lot of abortions that happened, and most of it, since everybody wanted a boy child, most of the abortions that happened were girls. And that's actually a problem that China is having currently, is there's about a quarter as many girls as there are men. It's basically really super hard for a man to get married if there's just nobody to get married to. So they're actually really facing a population crisis. This is what's going on. So I don't know how that's going to turn out for them, but that's very interesting. 7.
7.
Nope, my bad.
15.
15. Likewise, I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of angels of God. The angels of God over one sin that are
I missed of God.
Half point. 16. I think I checked most of yours, or looked at them at any rate. 17, there's any two of these, caring for other people's souls, sharing meditation, or teaching about God. Those are 3.
I have having a family and loving them.
Yes, our point. You should have. Yeah, those are point piece. You need to have 2. The thing is, these things are going to show up.
Does mine work?
Hang on. I would say right in. One or the other. The options here, if you don't have these ones, pretty much word for word. Caring for other people's souls, sharing meditation, or teaching children about God. So Richard, your thing about having children, you have to kind of go teaching children about God. I want to make sure that one.
So sharing meditation.
Sharing meditation, which I'm not sure where this comes from, even that actually book.
And then what was the other ones?
Caring for other people's souls or teaching children about God. Those are your 3.
You only have to know 2 of them.
You only need to know 2 of them there. I'm just trying to figure out
What about in quiz? Do you need to know all of them in quiz?
I think it's multiple choice.
Is there, like,
Also the prodigal son's first step in returning to his father, but anyway. 18, this is actually in the quiz as well, which is, what does one to know about how a person will handle true riches, and that's by the way that he handles his money.
I have the way that he lives.
I have how he treats other people.
You want to have a money thing in there, that's actually,
So how do you,
it's on
what
here.
does it say?
One way to know how a person will handle true riches is by the way he handles his money.
I have how trustworthy they are.
Is that what
They
we're
want the thing about money. You're right, they want the thing about money. Don't come anything wrong for that if you have a trustworthy one. What was the other option, variation?
How he treats other people.
That's also good.
Hey, and so for A and
How
B,
you live.
But
How many
what
are
they're
on the
looking
list?
for is the money thing. And for 17?
yeah, that, I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think you have it pretty much nailed down, just wrong wording. Main part of the parable of the unjust steward. We should use our possessions to build God's kingdom.
Let's use your money wisely.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's yeah. Specifically God's kingdom. So don't take any office right in God's kingdom thing. How did the Pharisees respond to Jesus' teaching about money? They mocked, derided, or scoffed Jesus.
They weren't
He was full of
impressed.
hot air.
I have angry, they love money.
They didn't like what Jesus said, they do right again.
Okay. 21. False. Things God hates.
I have materialistic things.
I had the same things the world values.
I have many
Yours, Chris,
friends.
doesn't really make any sense, I'm afraid.
I have many friends who see the same things God doesn't value.
That's a good one. Chris, I think take a half for that one. 22 is true, like I said, and 23, publican, 24, prodigal, 25, steward.
No, I have squandered for 24.
So what?
For 24, I have squandered.
I'm not here looking for prodigal.
Can we,
Yeah, I got 10 wrong.
flowers?
I got 45 on.
I
I got a lot wrong.
No, they're worth 4 points apiece.
4 points apiece.
What's 4.5 wrong?
So I have 6 wrong.
6 wrongs. Yeah, that's not good.
What is that?
It's like 24 points off.
Yeah, 76.
What's 4.5?
That's gonna be 16, 18 points, so 82.
what's 6 and a half? I mean, not 6 and a half, 3 and a half.
3.5, 12, 13, 14, 86.
Oh, dear.
Alright. Why did Jesus eat with sinners?
To review.
Do I still need this?
You rebuke them?
I can't remember. No, to teach. and
To make the
save them.
Pharisees mad?
No, to teach
Yeah,
and save them.
exactly.
Well, he did that.
Oh, what was that on the screen? Draw them into God's kingdom. Prodigal son's first step in returning to his father.
Realized his need. I think
Richard, quit messing with my cactuses.
Um,
Selling on your chair.
he came to himself and realized his need.
Yes, that's actually just it.
Yeah,
Verbatim,
you read
as
it.
I said. You read it? It helps. Alright. Remarriage is forbidden for what reason?
Adultery. I don't know.
What?
Why is remarriage forbidden?
See, if your wife is still
Oh,
living,
when? My
then
bad. When is it forbidden?
when your wife is still, when your spouse is still.
Do
And
you actually know the whole verse?
yes, the whole thing, including its reference.
What the?
Oh,
So let's say it.
Likewise, I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repenteth. Luke 15:20.
10. Luke 15:10. Try
Try
to
to
get
30, 100.
a little slower. Likewise, I say unto you,
There is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner that repenteth. Luke
Luke 15:10.
10.
10,
Not 20.
10, 10, 20, 20, 10.
What kinds of things are abomination to God?
remarriage.
distinguished?
I don't know.
The things that man
Esteem.
esteems.
Highly.
And it's higher than something.
Yeah, I need to write that verse verbatim as well.
Mark came up with a term for someone who commits an abomination. It's like, I'm not gonna say what it's called. All of a sudden, he goes like, man, those little abominators. I think that's a pretty good term. Abominators.
I never heard of it.
Oh, that is what it is. Remember to name and date it.
Did you figure out how to spell lethal, Leon?
Yeah.
Good. Cody, what did you get, Mama?
76.
And Leo? What did you get in Bible? 82? 84.
I got the 82.
You got the 82, 86, I can't remember.
86.
here?
Sure.
It says what kinds of things are abominations to God? Do they want like? Do they want me to like just start listing off what it is or what?
No. No, they have a specific group of things. I think I said it about 4 times, so I'm not feeling very apologetic if you don't know it.
Very tempted to put it in front of the camera. The tough thing is the cactus is sitting right in front and it doesn't even show up on it.
Yeah, I know.
What part of that thing is the camera?
Well,
The dot in the top.
the little dot in the middle.
Light right off, pink.
Isn't it the thing in the middle?
The shining dot, right?
No, that's just a light to show that it's on. No, there's a little orifice in the center.
Yeah.
But then why is it
It's so
long?
it's so wide because they wanted to have stereo sound, right? So they had to get
It's
wanted to
those
get
little
they
lines?
wanted to get their microphones as far apart as possible. Right here, right in the middle.
Oh, that round.
This over here on the side, these are just speakers. I mean microphones.
Oh, okay.
So, like they wanted to get their microphones as far apart
So-
as possible.
So if I put my finger right in front of that, it would cover it up.
Yes, like such.
It's like, but if I would just put it on the edge and stick it down, would it even see?
I don't know. It's got a pretty tight focus, obviously.
Because it can't even see the dome.
Yeah. Go ahead. I mean, it's delayed. Like, oh, it's no. It's this focus is terrible today. It must be. Oh, its focus must be coming from thereabouts. There you go. Yeah, so that messed up the focus. So it must have like a some kind of a focus.
There you go. Now watch. If I go right here, it can't even.
No, not even
Oh.
close.
No, that's
No, farther over. There you go. There. Yep.
It's kind of an odd little thing. It's that dot right in the middle.
it's fine.
He knocked it off again.
All right. 8th grade language. Oh, goody! We have new spelling words.
That's not dirty, that's gooey.
I wish students were allowed to go on strike for spelling.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is the students were on strike. They wouldn't learn home without
They do that. The teachers would probably go straight through.
The teachers would be like,
Oh, yes! A vacation. What is this?
all right.
Why do they want us to spell? I already figured out how to spell what?
Then it shouldn't be a problem.
I know, but there's still some that I can't.
Like Cincinnati, actually, very hard. All right.
Where's Cincinnati?
Is Cincinnati here?
Can we just do spelling words for first.
Yeah, Cincinnati is here.
Alright,
Cincinnati.
figures of speech. I love figures of speech. They make me happy as a kangaroo. That's terrible.
What did he say? Make you happy as a what?
Happy as a kangaroo.
Hockey.
Yes, hobbies.
That is a pun that was that is such a bad pun. It's not
It was like
even
a pun
funny.
next to the simile.
Yeah, it's just still.
It was a figure of speech.
It's just yeah.
It was a figure of speech. You have to admit. I would use it a million times a day if I could. Also figure of speech.
What happens if we don't know anything about the spelling words?
Well, you'll learn. That's what this is about.
Screaming.
So, well, if you're going to scream, go outside and go or something. And not right now. Do it later.
Last year we would keep when we had for practicing for the program and we couldn't get it. He'd just send us outside and just say scream. Like he would go outside and plug his ears good and proper, and we would just scream. And I didn't really help much because our throats got worse. So
Yeah, I would say that seems like a self-defeating problem. All right. So, for example, well, you know what a simile is. It is a figure of speech that uses like or as, right? So, like I said, I am happy as a kangaroo. That was awesome. That was just terrible.
No, it's
I am. That was. It was bad. But I apologize. So you would say, for example, I'm well, Mrs. Dowd, busy as a bird dog. I'm, so on and so forth. She was very good at similes and also metaphors. So metaphor is when you state that you are something without saying like or as, right? So, okay, so Mrs. Dowd would say it, I'll die standing up like an old ox. So that's a simile. But then she'd say, and all of you like white on rice or like a rubber girdle in a heat wave or something. But she would sometimes use metaphors. Although I actually can't think of one just right off the bat. A metaphor,
I can give you one.
yes?
The ocean was an endless fish 40 jump.
Well, there's also that. Yeah, like basically, a metaphor helps people to see something the way you see it, right? So, the same as a simile.
Is it like she'd go across her legs and miss?
Kind of, except that was more hyperbole, which we'll talk about here in a second. So,
Hyperbole?
hyperbole, yes.
It's a hyperbole.
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 It is a hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
Same as simile ends with an E as well. Otherwise, it's just called a sima, which is not. So, what's some examples we could come up with for similes, first of all? Just do I'm happy
For
as
number 2.
A graduate.
happy as a graduate. Well, I mean, there's that.
The woman in the flap was like a hyena's mouth.
Descriptive. It doesn't leave your imagination is wide open now. Chris, what do you have?
For number 2.
Either one or two.
For one, I'm as happy as a bear running downhill.
Bear running down the hill.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay.
I just can't.
Leo, what do you have? One or two?
I'm as happy as a big sunflower that nods and bends in the breezes.
It's a nice one.
Thanks.
Very nice. All right. So a metaphor obviously is different. So you say the sea was a ripply blue blanket, or Mr. Kent's bug was a dumpster fire, or something very descriptive. But if you say it without using like or as, everybody knows you mean kind of like or as, but it's not. Then personification. All right. So personification is assigning human attributes to inanimate objects. So I'm not going to do those ones. So I could say the bookshelf stood stoically in the corner. Obviously, the bookshelf doesn't give a rip what's going on because the bookshelf isn't an inanimate object. So it could just be sitting there quietly in the corner of the room. Personification is fun because
Very fun.
it just is. So like you're talking about a car, or especially something that makes noise, you can, say like you can say like water would, chuckle, or the car would whine and complain and things, or so on and so forth. All sorts of great options for personification. The computer. How would you personify a computer? Any ideas? Chris, you don't have any ideas?
No. I shoot my head once.
Kind of crazy.
The computer married the espresso maker, and now they have a bunch of coffee pots that can play world-class chess.
Well, that's not exactly what I was looking for personification. Although it's interesting, it does create an interesting word picture. You can have, what kind of noises do computers make? They click, they bang,
Sizzle.
they sizzle.
The sizzle?
Somebody pour water over the keyboard, they might.
Have you been typing fast enough?
Yeah, you never know.
Like,
Yeah,
stop
mine is
smoking.
exchanged.
Hyperbole is another example. Hyperbole is a massive overstatement. All right. So like, rather. Well, let me think. I must have spent $1 million on my bug already this year. Like, massive overstatement. Everybody knows I didn't spend $1 million on that thing.
Yeah, it would be really nice if you did.
We did too.
Huh?
We spent $1 million on the school.
Yeah, but not on my bug.
You
Everybody,
millions of dollars on the scoop.
tremendous overstatements are hyperbole. Hyperbole also can be
Mr. Camp,
can be understatement. Like extreme understatement can also be
Can
hyperbole.
you have
So
a
if I say-
hyperbole that's a simile? Like,
Rather not.
So like if I say, so this in my mind is not a hyperbole. So if I say penmanship is torture,
That's a hyperbole. Yes, that's a pretty decent one.
it's pretty real to life, too.
Or if something is whatever. If one of my fun things is saying things massively understated. Well, he probably spent about $2 on that truck. I would say that also can be kind of hyperbole. It's just a massive understatement.
and I got that penmanship done in like 3 seconds flat.
Exactly, something like that.
Well, so like working out in the hot sun, is like being baked in the oven.
Yeah,
You have to use lemon.
not necessarily. You can say the sun was so hot and fierce today, I thought it would roast to death.
I have my working in the hot sun, my skin started to boil.
Yeah, something like that.
And
then
then
Working in the hot sun was torture because that's a pretty good one.
You're just all about torture today, aren't you?
No, I just had that one down for that one, and
Should
then I
probably
just
call the
decided
authorities.
penmanship is torture.
For number 8, I have the huge crowd was as endless as the ocean. Like, is
That's
that
a really good one. That's
I have the huge crowd was 300 feet high and 5,000 feet thick.
That's hyperbole.
you will be standing on each other.
All right.
At that point.
God, let me out of here!
Then you walk away and people are just like
Fresh, interesting
frozen.
figures of speech, all right? So things like white as a sheep. Everybody has used white as a sheep. Busy as a beaver. Busy as a bird dog is newer and fresher. Busy as a beaver is older and boringer, to use the correct terminology. Old as the hills. Even like what in the Sam Hill is kind of a bit of a, it's old and boring. But I use it anyway. I like it. So like you just use new, fresh ones if you can think of them at all. Like put some actual work into thinking of new expressions. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Even in daily talking. Yes.
so there's a fat man in the valley, and
Probably more than one, if you're real honest.
yeah, but this is a specific one. He's just really fat, and his last name is Landis. And so mom says, "Good Landis, Paul."
Alright, that works. So they want you to write a fresh simile, where it says black as night there, which I'm sure you'll find something.
The fresh summer?
Dark as the inside of a cow.
That is fun. I already have mine down.
What is it?
Wait, but I have.
Okay, don't spill it yet. Wait till later. And we'll maybe check them tomorrow. Spill it then. The other thing is mixed metaphors. You should not have a mixed metaphor.
How do you mix?
Somebody will, like for example, if you say the teacher tried to keep a lid on his, here they say, the teacher kept a tight rein on her revved up students. So a tight rein refers to a horse, revved up refers to a car or an engine, and they really just don't go together. Because horses aren't engine power, at least not that I know of. You might be one somewhere, but I don't know.
Horsepower.
This
So
one
you should
says
try to-
500 engine power.
So like you can fix that by saying,
It doesn't matter. That's the.
you can say a teacher kept a tight rein on her raring students or on her rambunctious students. So rather than mixing the metaphor, you straighten it out and you shoot it down one line. So like number 10, for instance, it says the police tried to fence in the boiling lava in the downtown streets. There's a few different ways you could fix that, but you shouldn't have fencing in something that's boiling because that doesn't work. All right? Have you ever tried to fence in something that's boiling? I never have. As a result, it's a mixed metaphor. So fencing something in refers to wild animals. Boiling refers to something boiling.
So if you said the police tried to plug.
Plug in.
plug.
I don't want to give away all the answers because they want you to fix this one.
I know,
But
but
just think, how would you stop something?
well, like
that's
how I would do
boiling?
it is that.
Or how would you fence something? I mean, what's something you would fence in
Fence
rather than
in
something that's
that.
boiling?
The police tried to fence in the
That would actually
screaming
work.
monkeys in the downtown streets.
The screaming.
All right. Transitive and intransitive verbs over at 25 through 30. Remember to underline the things you must be underlining. That's hard on some people's grades.
Definitely.
So,
Okay.
25. What is the verb?
Squinted.
Yes, squinted. Is it transitive or intransitive? Is there anything
Which one are we working on?
Intransitive.
25. It is intransitive, right. There's nothing really receiving that action. 26, Leah.
Hmm?
What's the verb?
Let me see. Find,
Close.
hidden.
Did find is your verb.
So like
Did find is your verb.
25
So
is-
what is it transitive or intransitive? Did find something? Did something get found?
It's transitive.
I was asking Leah, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It is transitive. So what's receiving that action? Did find.
You.
No.
Needle.
Hidden. Needle.
You're just guessing wildly.
Needle.
Thanks.
Needle is the correct answer for that. Yes, you're looking for the needle. You
So
found the needle.
25 would be intransitive.
It
because-
is intransitive. We already talked about that.
Yeah, I know, but
There's nothing receiving that action.
it seems like it's intransitive.
The sunlight sure is receiving the action. All right, 26, Chris.
We already did
127,
this.
my bad.
It's VT and assignment circle. And that was the verb.
Yes. That's correct. 28, Cody. Did I already do you?
No.
I don't know.
You do it anyway.
Which one?
28.
28. You would go. And it is intransitive.
Yes, it is intransitive. There's nothing receiving that action. Would go as the verb. 29, Richard.
Toss is the verb,
Yes.
and keys is the receiver, and
Direct object, in other words. And it is transitive. And 30. What did you do that one for, Leo?
Was designed
Yes.
DT in Kimberly Lane.
Kimberly Lane is designed?
No, cover.
Cover, yes, is your receiver of the action.
Why do they have VI for intransitive?
Verb intransitive.
It makes more sense to do the IT.
Yeah,
Intransitive. Or actually,
they just did.
It is intransitive. But that,
Right. And there are only two relative pronouns that are sometimes left out of adjective clauses. Did not realize that before. So I let some things slide.
Whom and
Lesson
that.
7. Lesson 7 to find the answer.
it's him and that, I know it is.
Because I'm teaching.
Never told me, I was just eavesdropping.
Whatever your boss, I'll teach you.
All right, gentlemen. English. Personal narratives, revising and editing.
It says, what is outstanding personality traits? That would be that.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
But then it's, are we doing the character sketch or not? Well, I have to ask him, are we doing the character sketch or not? Oh, what was your question before that? It says, what are his outstanding personality traits?
I don't think it'll take long to do it. So we were on.
So you're gonna do the character sketch?
Yeah, let's see. No, not stupid.
Yeah.
Inconvenient for you possibly, but not stupid.
Yeah, it's very.
Want
So,
to run over some editing
I
stuff.
just have to finish this book basically besides the text.
Essentially. The test is going to be on Monday.
Oh no. I just don't think I can get this done tonight.
Yes,
I
ma'am?
have to take my social studies book home last night.
Okay.
I didn't forget. I just,
Well, we're hoping to put some time into it this afternoon.
So that means I don't have anything memorized or anything.
That's fine.
Okay.
Hopefully put some time into it this afternoon.
I don't know. English.
English, yes. They really pile it on, don't
they sure do.
Wow. So the character sketch is stretched out to lesson 13.
It's not so personal narrative.
Yeah, the personal narrative and the character sketch. So when you go through and edit your personal narrative, I'm not going to
This is the extent of my.
the personal narrative.
That's mine.
That's fine. I said there didn't have to be necessary. I didn't really put a word limit on it.
Okay, so
So
did you
we'll-
read one?
We'll survive. Say what?
Did you read
No.
mine?
Revise your rough draft. Okay, that's for today. It shouldn't take too long. Make sure that there's a topic sentence in each paragraph.
Each paragraph.
That's easy.
I don't think I have a
I
topic.
feel like I should be hard on you about your mind.
No.
It's just,
No.
I have like 3 stories we're writing right now at the same time.
I know. Transitions to tie thoughts together, including necessary details,
I have transition words in there.
are the details in logical order, strong action verbs and concrete nouns. That's some of the stuff you're going to be looking at when you're revising, and then
Someone else
proofreading.
is gonna have to read mine to do that for me. Because I won't know if they're right or wrong.
Well, that's part of this exercise, is learning. What do strong action verbs look like? Rather than saying was eating, you would say devoured, right? All the words spelled correctly, which there again, that's going to be an exercise you're going to have to do
I don't
yourself.
know.
So this is proofreading. So first you revise, then you proofread, punctuate dialogue correctly, punctuation on the end of each sentence, question marks, periods,
I have those on there.
sometimes.
That is only in my book, I don't put them when I'm writing a story, I put them in.
Say what, Christy?
They just slip
It's
off.
really eliminate wordiness. That's
Yes.
like the most frustrating sentence I've ever read.
Yes. So basically, unnecessary words. If you can shorten it down, you should try.
That was
Oh.
kind of the point, it was patient, so I think some wordiness.
Try to get some reader expectations.
No, yeah, that was the moral. I'm serious.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're wording this as a point, that's interesting.
Well, not to read it, especially, but that was the moral of patient, so I used,
Does that have, did you say it has to have a biblical moral?
no.
I have,
I said it should have a point.
it has a point to keep warm.
The biblical morals create right.
And that one I'm
It is,
good.
it is interesting how everything is lumped together into one chunk, and then there'll be like weeks where we're not doing anything.
You have a biblical moral in this one?
No,
Oh.
I'm saying mine is so lame.
Oh.
Well, I don't get
Mine is worse than lame.
All right, commas, active voice. Active voices.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know. It's not really right
I'm
to
trying
look
to
at.
say things.
Pronouns
And
and
I'm always the
verbs.
one that doesn't do it.
Yes. Pronouns and verbs. What did my dad used to say? You throw a rock into a pack of dogs, the one that barks is the one you got hit.
Well, last night Theodore was going with the puppy, so we all heard him barking.
I'm just saying, it's good.
Not sure which one.
So if you make a comment, and somebody's like, not everybody's like that. Throw a rock into a pack of dogs, and when it barks is the one that got hit.
Throw a pack of dogs into the rocks.
Get a rock. How does that work?
Alright, I do want you to do something with the character sketch as well. We're going to do that. It doesn't have to be super long. They have 2 paragraphs. I would say that's reasonable length. You do have till.
Be about.
Hmm?
About.
You have to write about a person. So think of a person you know fairly well, and just kind of describe them in.
I actually have a really nice original idea. What if you do somebody that you don't like and you can teach people how to not like them?
Yes.
I mean, there's a system. You guess you don't necessarily have to like them. So they do have a list of things that you should include, maybe. You might include why the person is
Wait, what
important
if
to
he
you.
doesn't have outstanding personality traits?
Yeah.
What, they're a banana? Everybody's got an outstanding personality.
What if we don't want to write them?
Well, you shouldn't write about that person.
What if I don't want to write any outstanding?
Well, in that case, then you just failed the lesson or 2 lessons, basically.
Oh.
So you get
Rather write and kind of might
I
be
mean, not a really long.
60
Um,
to 70.
So why the person is important to you, how it helps others, maybe, possibly. If they don't, well, then you can say, well, they don't. These aren't necessarily have to be included. These are just kind of a list.
I like
of things
number
to
4,
put in.
Christie.
Important influences or experiences in his life, personality traits, and how they influence others. Actions and words that reveal his character, good or bad. What are the what the artist can learn from? I would say write about a conduct.
That would be number
And
9.
then she'll think about my neighbor, but I feel
Um,
like that wouldn't be Christian. Probably.
Yeah, you should keep it Christian. That's my little piece of advice over here. Yes. Also,
It says check with your teacher to see if you need to read the copy, your personal narrative.
I said no. Don't write final draft of your personal narrative. We have enough other things to do. Don't worry about the final draft. But I will need to see your. It's just editing and revising. Well, no, I want you to do some editing. And revising.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just edit and revise and hand that in. I will-
Do you spell Q with a U-E-U-E?
Yes. You actually don't have to write your rough draft at this point for your character sketch. Today you do not have to write your character sketch unless, of course, there's Lisa. in which case you do. But that's going to happen tomorrow.
So, you want us to hand you
The ones that we revised?
Yes, once it's revised, edited,
And then rewrite it
No.
to get to two.
there's gonna be no rewriting. Your character sketch, though, you do not have to write today. Basically have to figure out who you're going to write about and what's going on.
how you spell Dodge?
Hmm?
Dodge.
Dodge. How do you especially spell it?
I have D-O-G-G-E.
Dog.
I know. How do you correct
How to make the jizz sound.
that? What did you say?
Well, no, that's not correct. There's no way to
Is
make
it
the jizz sound.
D-G?
How do you spell rich?
D-G? Or G-B?
DG. Always a D before G.
Before G.
What, I don't know if I have a topic sentence in the first one, but I know I have one in the last one.
Better find it.
Then we went
Make
and
one.
bought algebra. That was a whole
All right.
paragraph.
I want to know the present perfect progressive of the taste.
Has been
Present?
perfect. Has been tasty.
Perfect. Progressive.
Has-
Why is it? How do you know?
Because hasn't happened.
Hasn't have. You
And
say had? What do you say? Have been tasting?
has been.
Has been tasting. Hammer has it. All progressives end in
ING.
all of them every time. No EDs in progressives. Past perfect of taste.
Just past perfect.
Just past perfect.
Had tasted.
Had tasted. Was
No, was
tasty.
tasty.
Was tasty.
Was tasted.
Was tasty. Would be a past progressive.
I just don't know what the perfects are.
No, wait, I said past perfect, not past progressive. Past progressive is was tasty. Past, you were right with the past perfect, had tasted.
Past perfect.
I said perfect, not progressive. Progressive would be has,
Oh.
what, I mean, was tasty. Or had,
Down
so,
on my fingers.
all right. And then number 10. The diagram.
Besides the interesting. Is that go on?
What's interesting?
I wasn't sure if
Isn't
it
it
was
like
on
a germ or something?
a little curved line.
Like a verb part of
That's
it
way
and an
simpler than that.
adjective?
No, it's not real. Interest isn't
No,
there.
does it go on a line like she
A
prepositional line?
preposition.
It's
Oh,
not, it's
adjective.
not the verb.
It's just a plain
It's just an adjective. It's your normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill adjective.
Which one?
Interesting. What about the clause? What kind of clause is it? Where does it, what does it connect to? In number 10.
Oh, I said one.
Yeah.
It connects to Pythagoras, yes. What is the clause though?
Who was the philosopher?
Right. What kind of clause is it? Lisa? What kind of
Adjective.
adjective clause? And where is the,
But is there,
what is the relative pronoun?
who? Is it, one of those objective complements in there?
King can't.
Was
No objective
Greek.
complement.
My name is.
He was Greek, but
King
was
can't-
philosopher.
Philosopher is Greek. Well, no, because the thing is, an objective complement has to follow a direct object. So because the verb is was, you can't have a direct object. It's a vehicle. Any further questions, troubles, complaints? No, no complaints.
Yeah, we have complaints on number 9.
All right, good.
Too bad.
You could stupid.
You could, but you can't. Wouldn't be good for the grade.
It would be good for life.
Yeah, I doubt it. Skipped things make Mr. Kent angry.
You didn't skip it, you said skip it. Oil power filters.
Mr. Kent, what state is Niagara from?
New York. Did I just give you an answer?
Yeah, you just did.
Probably not though. No,
Oh, you did it.
yes, yeah,
Well, that's terrible.
That's really nice, actually.
Didn't intend to do that.
Well, that's what town Niagara is, and I just figured, you know what?
I should have known better, but I didn't. Say again?
Where does Albuquerque go?
Albuquerque?
You don't know where Albuquerque
There's only like one spot for it to go, so it's gonna go there.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
pretty
heard of
limited.
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Turkey,
New Mexico.
yeah, that place.
Hey,
Hey, I already got
keep your
Well, you-
wisdom to
It has
yourself.
the first letter of the word.
It does have the first letter of the word, yes, which helps, but
It helps for someone. Oh, so you just have to guess.
Cody. You know the Baltimore Orioles?
Yeah.
What state did they play for?
I don't know.
easy.
Remember the what?
Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, they played for.
Well, actually, if you remember Lord Baltimore, which you should know about,
Yeah, but I remember.
then you know what state it is. Lord Baltimore founded the
There's
state of
Yeah, we just learned about it.
Lord.
Chattanooga. I always remember that one.
That's a good one.
I can
No,
always.
can't.
I remember Milwaukee as well.
I
Um,
remember
Milwaukee
that
is
one.
in. I can't remember.
I know where Savannah goes.
I think it's in.
It's
I just guessed. I
It's
caught it
in
right after.
Wisconsin, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I figured it was
That's what I thought too, but-
Wisconsin.
Well,
that
that's what
makes
Mr.
sense
Kent
whenever-
is.
I doubt it.
Okay.
but it's-
Well, done.
No, what?
Whatever Pensacola.
This is so dumb. I can't remember what state Philadelphia is in.
You don't know where.
Philadelphia.
Actually,
That's terrible.
Think of
Hey,
brotherly love.
Yeah, brotherly
Brotherly
love.
love? Oh, God.
Hey, do you want this right now?
You can hand it in, something like today.
Brotherly love. I heard something that I thought was really cool. It was like, I'm as confused as Adam on Mother's Day.
Or, there's some others about worried as a cat and a dog and bang
There's another one that was as skittish as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
That's also a long-tailed cat. Nothing interests a cat as much as a rocking
Making me
chair.
laugh, making me laugh.
Good. Everybody make
Alright,
what
let's
state?
go ahead and do
LA?
these real quick.
Do those?
Can I have a chance to write them all first? So I know kind of how they're spelled?
Kalamazoo.
I suppose that's actually not the worst thing. Alright.
These
The
are just.
Keep the
Minnesota
volume
one.
down, people. Other people. Yes.
Who was a great philosopher? Does that go between the verbs? Or that one?
What kind of clause is it?
Who, whom, and then the one definition, but they sound like nouns.
Well, they kind of are. They're relative pronouns.
So they're noun clauses, adjective clauses.
Adjective
So they go in between the nouns,
No.
they go in between the verbs,
No.
and then the things. Direct object.
No.
Said the thing.
No.
Right way.
Just not the right way.
Well,
So, because they're adjective clauses, it goes between the relative pronoun and the word that it modifies. The thing with the relative pronoun can use something other than a subject in a sentence. Pythagoras. So like, yeah, what like, you were looking run on like who could be a direct object?
Is Greek? Greek is spelled, is Greek just an adjective too?
Is it?
Probably. I mean, it could almost not be. I mean, if it was an American, I would just leave it. Like, I don't know what to do. Give Greek the same treatment.
Hannibal. I would not have known that one.
It's in
Hannibal, Missouri.
Cincinnati. I would have never thought you'd spell it.
What, Cincinnati?
That one's easy.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah. Chicago, Illinois.
And what's in
I didn't know that Chicago was in.
Chattanooga, Tennessee? That one always stuck in my head.
Nobody would do that.
Everybody just says Chicago.
Yeah,
Never
never
associate
You get
that.
almost.
I used to.
What about Savannah?
That's Florida. Or
Georgia.
Georgia.
Savannah?
Savannah, Georgia.
Hurry back. Doesn't want to do this.
I cannot, I'm like so stuck.
Yeah, when I learned that Chicago was in Illinois,
Texas?
I was like, wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't
Well,
think
it's-
Illinois was
it's-
smart enough to have
it's-
Chicago in it.
Las Vegas.
So, like, Barack Obama was a senator.
No, not Chicago.
Los Angeles is in.
Las
Is that in
Vegas.
Nevada?
Las Vegas is in Nevada. In San Francisco and Las
We're actually flying through Las Vegas.
That's in Nevada.
For Christmas.
In Nevada.
Yeah, Vegas, Vegas, Minneapolis.
Dad has the app on his phone where you can track the flight.
Yeah.
And we were out laying outside the other day, and there were so many planes
Yeah.
going to
All right,
Las Vegas.
let's go, Richard. 2 years later. So what?
Not done.
That's all right.
I just have 2 words. Very annoying.
Who's better?
Is Cincinnati in Ohio or Tennessee?
Cincinnati. Oh, that's
It's Ohio.
Thank you.
Sounds to me like we ought to have a geography class.
a. No, we don't need that.
Geography.
I think we know it.
Geography.
Well, it just had to learn it, and I'm never gonna forget it.
Albuquerque. Baltimore. Hanover.
Okay, Cincinnati.
I'm Baltimore.
Yes.
Lord,
Lord Baltimore.
There's like a Lord de la Lord.
Cincinnati needs another.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, let's go.
Right.
I don't care about.
Albuquerque. Well, I think you should.
There. Is it right?
Baltimore, yes. Albuquerque.
Never been to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Albuquerque isn't actually that far.
No.
I made a man.
Once you see it, like,
Well, I guess that's an L there on the end. All right. Pittsburgh. Oh, what?
They brought
Put me off a chunk of that. Kalamazoo, Elkhart, and Milwaukee.
What was mine? Pittsburgh. Elkhart.
Elkhart. No.
Pittsburgh is.
Yes,
That's
here's
wrong.
Elkhart, here's Milwaukee. Elkhart, yes. Now Milwaukee is W-A-U-K.
I can italicize it with my
Because it's an
handwriting.
Indian name, so they just throw over the
I italicized it with my handwriting.
Kalamazoo. So, this is Savannah.
Like
Las
Jay.
Vegas.
Just think
El
about
Paso. Omaha.
I need to talk about more.
Did you listen to the newest one? It's well, actually. It's
What?
Oh,
I'll give you Las Vegas.
where they cuddle up and snuggle group.
Yeah, and he's like, let's see here. How about Wyatt? You go with Olivia, and I don't know. I guess me and Zoe.
Terrible.
You said not happening.
Not happening.
Savannah, good on the double N. Vegas, El Paso, first. And Chattanooga, Niagara, Los Angeles,
Look at that place.
Huh?
Pensacola,
Let's just go like this. This is much easier.
Niagara, Chattanooga. Need two T's in Chattanooga.
That's much easier.
Chattanooga. Yeah, we're gonna spell it out.
Los
Los
Angeles, that's in California.
Yeah.
L.A.
It is L.A.
LA.
LA. Oh, no. Oh, my bad. No, it is LOS. Los Angeles. Angeles. Yes.
Is there no board this week?
Richard.
What, me?
I'll sign you up. Chicago. Richard. Philadelphia. Minneapolis. And San
I
Francisco.
cannot remember how to spell that. Pretty sure it's like
Chicago. You have to capitalize it.
Oh, whoops. Whoops.
Minneapolis. Ooh, nice job on the double N.
I was gonna tell you too.
San Francisco.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Yes.
Whatever.
Let's do it.
I don't know.
That's enough, ladies. Cody. So bad.
I got that one.
Who did you do that? Oh, I gotta do it different way. Do Cincinnati, Hannibal, Baltimore. That would be
I can't remember. I don't think.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Hannibal. Needs, yeah.
Nothing. Except the comp.
Why are there all over the place?
Where are you?
It's on purpose.
You have too many numbers. There you go.
I wonder if it's so bad.
Milwaukee. Elkhart. Kalamazoo. Pittsburgh.
Whatever.
Kalamazoo.
I've never been to
Elkhart.
Kalamazoo.
Get L in your H.
I've never been to. Yeah, I've never been to Kalamazoo in my life. There goes all your stuff.
Pittsburgh. Yep.
Go you. Anyways.
No, actually, Pittsburgh was wrong. You need an H after G.
Hey.
Whoa.
That's enough.
Watch it.
Sorry, Chris.
Keep your hands to yourself.
I never touched it anymore.
All right. Omaha. El Paso.
Okay, I don't have to.
Las Vegas. Savannah.
Whatever it is. Where's this place at?
Mr. Kent is prejudiced.
Las Vegas
He's giving me two words.
is L-A-S.
Yeah, I know.
Like
That's
this.
okay.
And Los Angeles is L-O-S.
Yeah, I know.
That's a
I'm
crazy
smart.
silly thing to remember. but
Oh,
it's-
really?
Yes. So just for future.
I don't know how I got that wrong. I don't know.
Alright. In Savannah, yes, number 2. Milwaukee, good job. Oklahoma. Pensacola. Los Angeles.
Pensacola.
No, Los Angeles. Niagara, Chattanooga.
Niagara.
Chattanooga.
Where is Niagara? I can't remember.
Los Angeles.
No,
Los Angeles.
Boss.
LA. LS. It's still wrong.
Still wrong.
What?
No, but yours is
What? Richard's is still wrong.
Richard, yeah, so you have reading O here. Las Vegas is L-A-S.
It's Las Vegas.
Plus.
But Los Angeles is
You don't even say it different.
capitalized.
You don't even say it different.
No.
Las Vegas.
Los
All right.
Angeles.
Las Vegas. This is it.
One.
Same. CCE.
We should change it.
You have two T's?
We
You
should
gotta
probably-
change the word.
We could probably change it, though we would know.
One. Last one. San Francisco. Minneapolis. Philadelphia. Chicago.
Oh,
Chicago typewriter. You know what that is?
No, but I know where Chicago is.
Chicago and Illinois.
Philadelphia. Del-
I've got Minneapolis going on.
Oh, yes, I know.
That's so wrong. I love Sean.
I know
Your
that.
question was wrong.
I'm right around.
It's right wrong.
M-I-double-N
Right, wrong situation.
and then E-A.
Is mine right?
San Francisco. Hang on.
Good old San Fran.
You go San Fran?
Their
Or
airport.
Frisco.
The San Francisco airport.
Truth.
It's huge.
Oh, hi, wife and kids.
Is
That
that
one
how
looked like
you-
he.
is
That
that
one
what you
looked.
just called it?
Yeah. Looks like Kyler just got out of bed.
I wish I was in.
I wish I was still in bed.
Yeah, actually, I can't.
Justice just goes the whole day in his PJs.
Gideon? Oh,
Except
you
right.
think that's bad. Yesterday, Gideon was the
Kateson
whole
did
day in his diaper.
I
I mean, he got it changed like several times, but he never got clothes.
Just streaking around. Alright. Just, yeah, stay for a minute or so. Probably see it.
Do you have a navy?
Probably do. Alright, Leah, we're getting a little out of hand. I'm gonna erase your adjectives.
Her adjectives?
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't see.
They're not actually even that good.
Stinky, rockhead, dumb, unacceptable, bed of rocks, slowly work. I wasn't done. I was working on adding one a day.
That's alright.
That's funny. That's cool.
I think they've reached kind of